Welcome to Sports Scope, the most influential sports talk show in the nation.
What is today, the 19th?
Stay tuned for updates and great sports content.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sports Scope. I'm your host, Robert Butler, on this, what's today, the 12th of January, Friday. Huge weekend for NFL football. A lot of crazy weather to monitor. I think the games will go on. They're just going to be crazy cold. Couldn't pay me to watch some of these games here in person here. Hopefully, Carlos Mad New Yorker Chavez will be in at some point. He hasn't popped up yet. Kalen DeBoer has been hired for the Alabama head coach here, the Washington Huskies national championship game coach. He will be the new Alabama head coach, plus Gerard Mayo, longtime assistant and former player for New England, will also be the Patriots coach today. So stand by. We'll be back here in 49 seconds. Hit the ground running here on Sports Scope. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. All righty then. We'll start off with the latest news here. Now, Kalen DeBoer is named Alabama's head coach here. Washington would have been the first team without a boatload of five-star players to win the national championship. I thought they were going to win it coming into that game. They beat Oregon twice last year, beat Texas. Texas, I felt like was never the better team. I know that they caught some breaks at the end of that game here. They did the best they could. It was a trenches battle in the Michigan game, but DeBoer seems like a very good coach here. I would hate to be the guy that follows Nick Saban, but he's up for the challenge. And people say, well, he's not familiar with the SEC. Listen, winning's everything. You know, all that stuff is way overstated. If you can coach well, Nick Saban's from West Virginia. You know, he wasn't really he coached at Michigan State before he took the LSU job. So a lot of that stuff is overplayed, I think. Not sure how good he will be. How many players will DeBoer hold on to? I do think that Jalen Monroe, if I were Jalen Monroe, I would definitely stay there. Look at the success that he had with Michael Penix and that group here. The offense may be a little tighter, actually, but I don't know if the recruiting is going to be there. It's hard to recruit like Nick Saban. I do think that Georgia here will be, whether people want to admit it or not, they'll probably be the king of college football with Kirby Smart. That's my that is my guess for right now. There was a scene in the first Top Gun. I know the new Top Gun came out a couple years ago. It was a big hit in the original. This bald-headed guy, I can't remember his name now. He was a commander or something. He's talking to the Tom Cruise character, and he says, listen, he's gone now. Now, Maverick, you and Goose, you're Top Gun, okay? That's basically college football looking at Kirby Smart right now. We don't know if Jim Harbaugh is going to leave Michigan or not. You can make a case for maybe Jim Harbaugh takes his lumps now that Nick Saban's not in college football. Now that Urban Meyer has been gone a few years, he has taken advantage of Ryan Day. Maybe he stays there. I have not seen his name really come up for interviews. I know they just won the national championship on Monday, but if you think about it, no Nick Saban, no Urban Meyer. USC is not what people thought it was going to be. I was right about it. I thought it would be a lateral move for Lincoln Riley. So I don't know if Jim Harbaugh is going to take this other job. But as far as going back to the Alabama job, I do think Killenbohr is going to be a good hire. It's going to be impossible to fill those kind of shoes. But hey, listen, if you're competitive early on, it is what it is. I admire the guy for taking the challenge of wanting to follow a guy like Nick Saban, and kudos to Alabama. It's hard to get a coach when the season's already over with and you're in January. You've already had one recruiting period, and December pass up, and then you have a sudden change there at coach where he says he cannot do it. Nick Saban said, listen, I just could not. It took a lot out of me this particular year to get these guys up to par. They can't coast anymore. Alabama could not coast due to the transfer portal, due to the amount of depth around college football. It's very much like the NFL. So the reason why he stepped away. Now, there are some speculations that maybe he takes a job in the NFL, that a lot of people really agitated by the really agitated coaches by the transfer portal, by this NIL stuff here. I've talked about guys like Jay Wright from Villanova. That's just, this the basketball coaches alone, Mike Krzyzewski, thinking maybe they could have coached a few more years, and that's just not the case here. I think that's part of why Urban Meyer left. He can say what he wants about everything else, but if you add in this, it is another layer here. So I'm still monitoring the Jim Harbaugh situation, but it is a lot to be said. Now, going back to hey, Carlos, where you at, man? You going to come on here or not? Carlos says Saban's very methodical, doesn't want to deal with so much change in very little time here. Yeah, that's possible. That is possible now. Let's see. Trying to see if Carlos, do you want to come on the program or what? All righty. Well, if it doesn't show up, oh well. Doesn't matter. The show will go on. Trying to think of did I send you the link here, Carlos. If I didn't, let me know, my friend. But anyways, okay. Now, maybe I didn't send him the link. Well, Carlos, just let me know. I'll resend you the link. Let me try this one more time, folks. We'll go ahead and go on a quick break here. Hello, Sports Scope followers. The program has seen tremendous growth since going 5 days a week. I just wanted to thank everybody for your cash contributions and sharing the program with friends and families. Just a reminder, if you want to contribute to the program, go to the Cash App, the cash sign, and Sports Scope. There are other ways to contribute to the program listed at the bottom of the screen. If you want to advertise on the program, go to sports, that is sports with an S, another S, scope, SKOPE, at gmail.com, just like it's listed at the bottom of the screen. Thank you and enjoy the program. All righty then, Carlos. Check your mail there, buddy. Okay, now, Jared Mayo, he has been he was drafted by the Patriots. He's been sought out to be a smart player since he left the University of Tennessee several years ago. He's 37 years old. Since he was drafted probably 15 years ago at 22, leader of the defense, called the defenses and whatnot. Been an assistant coach there for a while. Been a linebacker coach. Basically promised this job. He was promised to be the successor of Bill Belichick. He was sought out to be more of a higher link type of guy than a Brian Flores per se. Okay. Hey, man. Brian Flores. Sorry about that.
No, that's all right.
Hey, man. Oh, we got an echo in here. Sorry about that.
No, that's all right.
Hey, man. Oh, we got an echo in here. Sorry about that. Oh,
I got
try
you
it again.
Bro.
You got to cut off one of those links there, brother.
I can't cut you off, bro. Come on.
All right. You got me now?
I got you.
All right. Good deal. So what's your thoughts about, I was just talking about Jared Mayo here, former University of Tennessee player. You follow the Vols here. Was promised this job. I felt like that maybe Kraft kind of reluctantly made this hire because I think he wanted to go offensive, but this guy's young. He's really smart, and he's going to give him the job. He's the head coach. What's your thoughts on him taking over for Belichick?
Yo, I'm excited because he was a great player for the Patriots. Got a few rings himself, so he's a winner. He won a bowl game in Tennessee. He was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, so he's got a winning mentality. He's got a very good mind for the game. A lot of players who played against him say he was one of the toughest players to play against, to block. As a linebacker, he was one of those leading linebackers that knew how to run the game from his position. So, this is a type of person that you need. I keep telling you guys, and I keep saying that, the game's is more offensive, but you still need to balance it out with some defense. And Mayo's one of those guys that's so respected. I'm sure he's going to have a good opportunity to pick up a lot of people to support him on his team. Plus, this allows the Patriots to kind of move on from him, but still have a defensive mind to carry that over, because there's a few teams that still have that defensive mindset. The Ravens, Pittsburgh, with the Patriots, and they're gonna find ways to get the offense going. And I think the most important thing that we have to realize about all these coaches that are leaving, because every 2 decades, every 10 years that you're going to see good coaches kind of move on, is that who's their supporting cast, right? And that's what,
maybe it's a D'Amico Ryans type of former linebacker, play for Houston. Maybe he sold the fact that he's going to bring a young offensive staff around him. And it's one of those situations. Yeah, Chad, I did too. I thought Vrabel would be the guy, but I just get a sense that, Kraft felt like he probably maybe put his foot in his mouth and realized he's got more options, and he did not want to be sought as a guy that's going back on his word. That's my guess of why he wanted to stay.
He's always been like that. Yeah. That type of mind mentality, businessman. Like, he's a man of
loyal.
Mind. Yeah. Very loyal. And one of the things too is that it's easier. I don't want to sound mean, but it'll be easier to pay a 37-year-old than somebody who's that experienced like Vrabel. And to bring him in here, you're almost getting the same type of mentality. So the Patriots are a frugal team. They're very, they're mindful of how much they want to spend and where they want to spend it. And I think this works out best for everybody, including Vrabel, because now Vrabel will have a different opportunity somewhere else. Yeah. And maybe he needs to kind of, I said, remember when they talked about him being on the hot seat, somebody has to put him in his place and make him understand that as much as he's a good coach, he still has to have good people around him. And he's always had a very difficult time of choosing an OC that would stay with him for long periods of time to help that offense get going. And he needs to understand that as much as he's got a lot of control of things, the one part that he lacked was finding somebody outside of his own.
You talking about Vrabel?
Yeah. Vrabel had difficulty finding somebody outside of his network to bring in to solidify that offense.
That's like the New England thing. I also read, that I'm going to tell the audience this too, that John Robertson is coming back up there to interview for the general manager position. Ooh. So Kraft is very inter-network New England, and I'm sure a lot of the fan. If I'm a fan, I'm kind of disappointed in that because I'm thinking, okay, you moved off Belichick because it's the offense, the lack thereof, it was stale. Maybe you want to go the other direction and get an offensive-minded background head coach here and kind of go away from the old Patriot way. And sure enough, he did the opposite.
I mean, you can say all that all day long, but look at these teams that have went the other way with offensive-minded coaches, and they're not doing that much better. And I even said it last time, like even the move of Dable, the Giants made with Dable here, and it's not all rainbows and candy canes. Man, this is a struggle. He can't even keep a coordinator, who's been helping them to win games, make it actually.
Well, those egos clashed, didn't they?
Yeah. So, and that's another thing about being a coach. I'm not trying to, put people down or talk bad about people, but we both know that as a leader, you sometimes have to take 2 steps back and just let things go, let them flow, and then come up 4 steps up and be like, okay, I let you do this.
Take a few steps back to take a few steps forward.
Yeah, I let you do this, and it worked out, and you was right, I was wrong. So let's see what we can, let's try to stay on the trajectory of what we're trying to do here to become successful. Because I kept saying this whole season, taking this to where Dable went with his coordinator, Wink. Wink was the best thing for the Giants.
Yeah.
He was the only one that kept the defense balanced with whatever pieces they had. And it wasn't the best. I say best in the sense where that was the one thing that Dable had that was his rock to lean on, right? Because the offense wasn't there. Now, I'm not saying that the defense was the best defense in the league. I'm not going to say that because they gave up a lot of points. But at the end of the day, that was the most positive thing you had going. I mean, he got from 3 players that nobody even heard of, he got a lot of play. Okereke played the whole season. McFadden came out as a 3rd round, 4th round pick as a linebacker. He got great play out of him. He got great play out of a lot of players. So, Dable on the opposite, being in charge of the offense and with his offensive coordinator, they didn't get that from their players, right?
Yeah. So what? Going back to Belichick, what do you think Kraft decided to move on from Belichick?
I mean, I've been saying here for almost 3 years now that Belichick needs to go. You can move him to upper management, get him going, but he's passed, and it's just the fact that the players kept moving on, the ownership. I'm sure Belichick wanted more money, and the ownership was like, the deal,
Yeah.
This is why
I keep paying him $25 million a year. I think he got caught up in the draft and the players, and Kraft didn't want to. I don't know why Kraft didn't. Maybe he did give him an ultimatum about, you probably need a general manager here. You're killing us here with these players you're bringing in. None of them are hitting on the offensive side of the ball, and the idea of moving in Matt Patricia and trying to give him a crash course on offense with a young quarterback. I mean, he's totally disrespecting that side of the ball.
Yeah,
man.
and I'm glad you mentioned that. I think the in and out of the coordinators, the inconsistency, the fact that the consistent thing there were his sons, and they weren't much part of that team. In fact, only like coordinators and trainers and stuff. So he should have focused a little bit more on, again, the same thing Vrabel didn't do in Tennessee. You're focused on the part that you're not good at. You have to make great to balance out the part that you're great at.
Right.
And that's a part of leadership. It's very important, people. Coaches come and go for that reason. Just because you're hired doesn't mean that your part is played well and the other part goes wayside. And
did you hear what I said the other day? When breaking that down with Vrabel, the offense was 30th in the NFL in 22, the Titans. And so he fires the offensive coordinator. You think he's going to make this big splash and go outside. But then he hires a guy in-house, and they're 28th this year in offense. They're very stubborn to get out of their comfort zone. I think that was frustrating Amy Adams Strunk. And, a lot of people saying they shouldn't have fired him. But listen, man, Vrabel's pretty hard-headed,
Yeah, and to your point, listen, even when the Titans made the playoffs, they weren't like the most top ranked team in the offense. Their defense was actually up higher.
Yes.
Their defense was in the top 10, and their offense was like in the bottom, like 15. You know,
that would be a good. That's you're speaking well of them.
no, but that was when they were in the playoffs.
The bottom 30th.
No, when they're in the playoffs, Robert. When a few years back,
even when they're in the playoffs, they was in like in the 20s.
Yeah.
Most of that was Derrick Henry, you know.
Yeah, that one year that Derrick Henry went off, and
we're talking like 2019 or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. When they won those playoff games.
Yeah, so they weren't high in the offense. That's what I'm saying. They weren't high up on the offense, as far as ranking was concerned. So, and you lose your coach LaFleur to the Green Bay Packers, then you had to replace him. You pick up Arthur. You lose him to the Falcons, and you have to replace him. You know, and you just keep going where the help was needed the most, right? Not in the defensive end where you knew if you had a patch up, you could do that and focus on that because that's what you're good at. But he didn't do what he was supposed to do as a leader, and that was to make what you're not good at try to get better. And what you're good at, you know, you still have to work at, but you can't forget all those things. That's the hardest thing about being a leader, being a boss, being a coach, man, because you got to delegate. And if you're going to keep bringing people up that have very, very little or no experience, you're going to get very little or no experience type of results, which is why I get agitated when New York management of any team bring in small, medium market leadership to the big houses. You small-minded. Keep your small-mindedness outside. I want people who know how to be in New York, how to manage media, how to manage people, how to delegate. Some of these guys work, some of them didn't. You know, Parcells worked.
Yeah.
You know, Hubie
he was
Brown,
good at managing his coaches.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's a good teacher too. His coaching tree was really good.
Right. So, and you know, these things matter to the teams. Now you have all these teams, you have these coaches that have just been let go or moving on. And, you know, even like a guy like Carroll, who's going to replace Carroll in Seattle? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Carroll being what's your thoughts on Carroll getting fired there in Seattle?
Yeah, I think these guys leaving the older statesmen.
Yeah.
Not having
the 70 club.
the 50 plus club.
70 plus club, yeah.
Like not having that quarterback has affected them.
Yeah.
Tremendously. And them thinking that because they have that clout, that notoriety, that esteem, and being able to maybe be influential, that's not how the new young mind works. If you're not winning, you're not a winner.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
So, you know.
Yeah, they had more talent this year and they still finished 9-8, but they didn't make the playoffs this year.
Yeah, and who was their quarterback?
Yeah, Geno.
Yeah. And it's not, I'm not saying he's a terrible quarterback because I prefer him over Daniel Jones. But again, you're trying to win a championship, so you need a championship type of caliber player. And he didn't have that, right? So because Russell Wilson proved in 3 to 4 seasons before he got injured and you know and got older that he could get you 6 to 7 wins himself. He could, you know. So you know, I'm not trying to, you know, be that carrier Russell Wilson, but that was the type of player he was. He was consistent. He wasn't gonna back down, and he, you know, he threw the ball when they should have ran the freaking ball. I mean, that's how crazy this guy is.
Back in 14 when they lost that Super Bowl.
Like, you know, but if you don't have that type of mentality as a QB, you know, it's hard to win, bro. You gotta and these cats, these older statesmen, the 50, 70 plus club, whatever you want to call them.
70 plus.
They didn't have those QBs.
All these guys were doing well when they're in their 50s.
they didn't have those QBs that they can, you know, rely on, right? So
yeah. So what's your thoughts about this sudden Nick Saban retirement?
Kind of sad.
One, huh?
Yeah, kind of sad. It makes me feel like I'm getting older. He was in Alabama for a long time.
It was sad, man. Did you know he's great at what he just epitomizes excellence, man. He says, listen, I can't coach the level up here that I'm used to coaching, because he's used to having all that depth. And now he's having a coach like he's in NFL every week.
Right.
Field position, play calling, all that crap. Alabama could just coast, right?
Yeah, and remember we were talking about when Alabama lost that was the best coaching job he's done. And he had less depth on less 5 stars because a lot of them left.
He said it was a big stress on his health. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So and that's not saying that you need all those 5 stars on your team and on your roster, but it helps a lot. And if you're a good player or a great player and you listen to Saban, you gonna run through a wall for him.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So I feel like if that team was a little bit deeper, that Texas situation wouldn't have happened. You know, I mean, so not Texas, but the Michigan game.
Yeah,
that game, it would have been totally different. But it is what it is. They made the mistake. And another thing we have to understand, he had taken broken coaches and revitalized their career.
Yeah, it was like a rehab for coaches.
Yeah, on top of teaching football and NFL football to these kids who are just thinking about cashing out at the end of the day. So
do you think he's going to jump back in the NFL if the right situation come up?
I think he's done, man. I think he's a man. I think
so too.
I
would like to see him take an NFL gig, but I can't remember the guy that Eric Mangini said that on the calling card. He says he may look for the right situation. A lot of these guys don't like to publicly say it, but this NIL stuff is stressful, man.
Yeah, and you know what, Nick Saban, he knows. He's tasted he's tasted the salad on the other side of the table, man. He's been on college game days, and he's been out in the media, and he knows.
I think they'll give him a good gig at ESPN.
He's gonna get a good gig. They're gonna make him feel comfortable.
Yeah,
he can ride it out. If he wants to talk football, he doesn't have to coach. He's gonna do himself a favor, and he's gonna do what's best for Nick Saban. This is like Jimmy Johnson. He's like, I just want to go fishing, man. Right.
These guys have made a ton of money. I looked up Belichick made over $225 million. I know Saban's made at least 100, at least.
I'm sure.
I mean, this guy owns a Mercedes dealership right down the street.
Right. I'm sure he's up at the 300 level because of the commercials, Aflac and all that.
Right. The Aflac. You've got the who was it? Coca-Cola's got to be paying him money for having all those Cokes on the podium like that all these years.
Yeah, now he's got some.
But I was just going by salary alone.
Yeah. Look, if you're in that level,
like money's not an option for these guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. If you're at that level like them, and they winners, and they got championships, and they got they got pull, it don't matter, man. It don't matter.
Yeah. So what do you think about Keelan DeBoer? I thought that was a good hire, man. Washington head coach is going to be Alabama's coach now.
So they were offered him the position. He called Washington. Is that a done deal?
Well, everything I'm reading, Keelan DeBoer has been named the Alabama head coach. This is Fox Sports. So this was 4 hours ago. Bruce Feldman's also going down with it. So this guy's a well of an X's and O's coach. It's all about recruiting.
Man,
their first SEC game would be against Georgia in September. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, and I'm just feel bad for Washington. They just got out of the black hole that was over there in Seattle, man.
It's up in Seattle. Right, I was going to say it's up in Seattle.
It took them a long time, man. And
they're going to lose Michael Penix and Rome Odunze and now DeBoer. I think that's a pretty cool move by Alabama. I think it's a good hire, man. I would want to follow Saban. He's a legend, but somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, who's the next guy up is probably just going to be a guy. And he's going to be okay. He might have a little bit of success, but I don't – with this whole realignment, NIL, and all the stuff that Saban just don't want to be thinking about.
Right.
Playing the smaller mid-conference, non-conference game, like all that stuff that he just going to not have to worry about anymore. That's going to take a toll too, because, Saban had he had issues when Texas A&M and Missouri joined the SEC. I don't know if you remember that, because he was like, well, I gotta play these guys now, and I can't play those out of conference games that we want to play, like Michigan and Ohio State. Remember he said that?
Yeah.
He's always like, bring me the next biggest team up, and we'll play them.
I
And then
remember
he had
people were criticizing. He said, "I'll go to Penn State."
yeah,
They
yeah,
went up there to Penn State and beat up on Penn State.
yeah, like he was man, and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna throw my team out there, and they gonna, you know, they gonna."
He went to USC, beat the crap out of them.
They gonna hit him, and now he has to play like teams like Austin P, which is not a bad thing. We like it at Austin P. Alumni like it, but you don't want to play Tennessee, Chattanooga, and Memphis, and like you don't want to play those teams, man. Like you want to play.
Nah, it's boring, man.
And it changes the mindset of your players too, because they're like, oh yeah, we won this, and that's not what you want. You want to be like, yo, this was a tough football game, and we got another one, so let's suck it up and keep moving on. So
yeah, like before you got on, I said, kind of like that scene in the first Top Gun, the bald-headed guy is talking to Maverick. He says he was Top Gun. Now you're Top Gun. Is this college football saying this to Kirby Smart, saying Nick Saban was Top Gun? He's gone. Now, Kirby, you and Georgia, you're Top Gun.
No,
I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, man.
And I don't think so. This whole realignment just chopped everything up like freaking Top Chef, man. You just think you're on the top, but the next day somebody's over there making something better than you that smells better.
I think Georgia's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I want the SEC teams to be strong, to be competitive, to be up in the top, to be in the championship games, because right now they're not. There's no SEC championship. And so that just to me is opening my eyes and realizing, listen, this realignment, even if it's the top 2 teams of a conference, and even if they don't play that well during the year, they still have an opportunity. And if you're giving them an opportunity,
12-team playoff too.
Yeah, and if you're giving them an opportunity, anything can happen, and it might be really, really great, or it might be really, really bad. And like even you and I and a few people who were rooting for Washington, we wanted a better game than that from Washington.
Yeah. I thought, well, you know what? It's really hard to measure college football offensive line versus not unless you're picking like Georgia versus a non-SEC. That's easy. But the naked eye told me that Washington was a better team. They looked like they had better protection. They had better quarterback play.
Right.
Obviously, that wasn't the case, man. Michigan ran all over them early and just
when Michigan started that, and I was like, oh, look at them. They're gonna run the ball and they did it in the style that they did it, not because they've been running the ball all year, but
like 30, 40-yard runs.
Yeah, and I was like, oh Lord, like and then you saw Washington try to come back, but
it was like an avalanche, but they settled in for a little while, then they just couldn't hold on, And
then you saw Michigan just kept bringing in new guys that you didn't even know the name on the jersey. They were
Edwards and stuff, and then Corum,
a bunch of like just guys that were redshirted, guys that just
that depth really, really got the best of Washington.
Yeah, and they had a lot of depth, and they did a good job. That's a part of what the coach, he did his job. He did what he was supposed to do. They beat up on the team that Washington just wasn't ready, man. They didn't have enough depth. They have a lot of good players, but Michigan has a ton of players.
Yeah. And what do you think about Harbaugh? Do you think he'll stay at Michigan, or you think he's going to take one of these pro jobs?
Yeah, I think he's like on treading water right now, just to like take a break.
Yeah,
but he hired he hired new representation. So to me, that already told me that he was going to leave no matter what. I think he's just pulling strings to see how much money he can get, where he can get it from, and just finding out what'll be a better situation for him. He's going to pick where he wants to go, which is kind of, to me, like
what is the best job? There's 8 jobs available right now. Well, 7 now since New England got a coach.
I like that pick, man. Look, I've been saying for a few years, man, you can't go to a team that management and ownership just not focused and not have a plan. Even though you're going to be the one bringing in a new plan,
Yeah.
But because some of these places, I feel, because they have a lot of fan base support, alumni support, they have a lot of corporations that support them, but the owners are just not up to par, right?
Yeah.
So they, I say for one thing that Washington is that Washington team, they're gonna get somebody. They're gonna get somebody big.
Yeah. Well, don't talk about Jim Harbaugh. What to these NFL jobs? Since Harbaugh's talking about going, I think it's probably that Charger job because they got the quarterback. And
I look, man. I said it, and I keep saying it, man. That owner right down over there, he might have a lot of nice people on that roster, but you can only, if you're only making steaks and you ain't got no side orders, man, you're only gonna be hot. The hot steakhouse for the first few days.
I had Mike Richmond on yesterday, and he made a case for maybe Washington with all that money.
Pickles and I on the same page. You know why I think he should stay he should go to Washington? Because he'll be close to his brother. Washington is nice.
Man, he's gonna be like down the street from his brother.
Yeah, man. They're
gonna be like crosstown rivals.
Yeah, man. They're like Fairfax is nice. They got nice little houses around over there, and they're gonna get themselves a nice new stadium. They
got like the most cap money, and they got the number 2 pick overall.
Yeah, so that's why I think that everybody's talking about the Chargers. But look, the Chargers
got that quarterback there, though. They got the offensive line there.
Bro, let me tell you about the Chargers. The Chargers are
it is in California. California kind of sucks,
I mean, the Chargers are like the 2019 Tesla. It looks nice. You kind of want it, but you kind of like, should I just get the new one? You know what I'm saying? Like, just go for if you're gonna go in, go for broke. You start everything fresh, you start everything new, and Harbaugh, that's what he wants. He wants fresh, new. He wants it his way.
Yeah.
San Diego. The Chargers didn't want to stay in San Diego. They don't want to pay for this. They don't want to pay for that. It's like a rich person telling you he's rich, but he actually just like penny pitching all over the place. That's not true. That's not good, man. So and then they tied into contracts to the quarterback. As much as he's a great quarterback, they're tied in. That handcuffs you a little bit, right? Your wide receiver core is more of a core than our.
Can you imagine the ratings if Harbaugh goes to Washington when they play Dallas again? It's gonna be like 50 million people watching them games, man.
That would be the only sell, right? But Harbaugh's not about. He's not about image. He's about him. He's about what can he do
to do to win. He likes the challenge. He's a super competitor.
I felt like he left San Francisco because he was like, man, I don't, like 49ers this and that, and then like he just want to play football.
He bumped heads with that bulky guy, the general manager,
and it was just a big mess. And 49ers had high ratings when he was there, man. But I don't think it's for him. For the team, for the owners, it's like, let's have Harbaugh. But for him, he's like, I just want to be football minded, do your football thing, and win in football. That's all you could. That's what you should do, right? Just keep it concise and straight.
Yeah, and they hired a 49er assistant to be their general manager. So it's going to be interesting. Like Mike Richmond said, it's a very intriguing job, especially if him and this Josh Harris owner can get along.
And I've said this, and I keep saying it for the last 3 years, even right before they picked up Daboll. The Washington Commanders will be better than the Giants for the next 4 to 5 years. Believe it. And I said, and you guys can go back. My picks for the Super Bowl, when I was picking teams, I said I had Tampa Bay as my dark horse, right? Yeah. And I had the Jets and the Giants not winning more than 6 or 7 games. Remember that?
Yeah. Well, that's about right now. So what's your thoughts on Buffalo, Miami, Sunday night?
Buffalo, go away, Buffalo.
Man, it's a good game, man.
It's gonna be a good game.
I'm up 1.
Here's the thing. I don't trust Buffalo because they're running even though they got 1,000-yard rusher this year. Yay! Finally figured out how to run back. Thank God. But it's not prevalent. It's not one of those like, they got a running back over there. You're not. You can stop him.
Josh played way too much hero ball, man. And I was really disappointed in Buffalo, even though they won the game. I was disappointed, man.
I was disappointed that Buffalo came back. And I was like, because the only one that could stop Allen is Allen himself. He's gonna mess it up, right? He's gonna overthrow. He's gonna overrun a run. He's the only one that can mess his game up. And so
Yeah. Pickles, I'll probably watch that Peacock game.
So I don't.
I'll probably watch it. That's Kansas City on Sunday night.
Pickles, you could tell you and God.
That's Saturday night. Excuse me, Saturday night.
Hey, Rob, you can tell Pickles ain't got no young kids because I had got Peacock like 4 months ago for Mario.
Oh, did you
Brothers.
really?
Yeah, for Mario Brothers.
You know, I watched that like 3 times. I like Mario Brothers. It was good.
It's a good movie. It's nice, but like I got kids, so they wanted to see it, so I had to,
See, you can make excuses to watch these movies we would want to watch.
Yeah. I got all.
If I had kids, I'd watch The Lion King like 20 times.
Yeah, I got more movie channels than I got sports channels, and it's killing me.
All right,
because the sports channels they're not cheap. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. Okay, let's start in order then. We got some big games this weekend, man.
Woo!
What's your thoughts about Cleveland visiting Houston? That's gonna be a very good game.
Flacco, bye.
I like Flacco too, man, and Jerome Ford. He's rested. Cleveland. I think Cleveland plays well now. Stroud, they played on Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm.
Stroud did not play in that game.
No, he did not.
Both of those other backups played in that game. Let me look at. I forgot the guy's name.
I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be like 27-24. But I think
Casey Keenum and Davis Mills both played in the other game.
Yeah, I have Texas winning this game.
Okay,
but I'm gonna say this, and because I'm not gambling. I don't gamble. Like, this is one of those games where the last team who holds the ball is gonna win the game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be up and down the field. Yeah. I think it could be a fairly high-scoring game.
Because that defense
will be back in this game. Let's see.
I don't think it'll be high-scoring. I think it'll just be a lot of defense, man. It's going to.
I don't know. It was 36-22. Amari Cooper had that huge game.
Yeah, he was like he remembered that he was a wide receiver that game.
He was balling.
I was like,
oh. Today, Pickles, is the anniversary of Joe Flacco hitting a long pass. I think this guy named Jacoby Jones, if I'm not mistaken.
Jones, yeah, man.
To beat the Denver Broncos in that divisional round there in Denver. He's just mile-high throws, huge throws. Baltimore goes on and gets the AFC Championship. Then they beat the Patriots the very next week to go on the Super Bowl in the Harbaugh Bowl.
Correct me if I'm wrong. He threw that ball. Jacoby Jones ran that ball
11 years ago. Excuse me.
Yeah, that was a couple days after his brother was shot, right?
Yeah, I think so. Or it may have been Ed Reed's brother running from the police, and he jumped into the Mississippi River or something like that. It was a pretty crazy thing. And then Ray Lewis they were saying he had some kind of shoulder deer antler spray on his shoulder or something. Either way, Baltimore got to the Super Bowl and won it that year.
The pheromones.
Flacco ended up getting. I think he got the MVP. That was just a little side note. Listen, Cleveland. This is the first time. This is a crazy fact for everybody. Cleveland. This is the first time they've been favored in the playoffs since 1994, dude. 30 freaking years. And I think that was when Bill Belichick was their coach.
Yeah, because he won the first. He took them to the playoffs.
They won that first game.
They won that first game, right? So, yeah, I mean, I won't even I couldn't jump on that and be like, yeah, let's go Cleveland. Yeah. I'm happy they're in the playoffs. I'm happy for their fans.
But you like the home team,
man. You know what?
Stroud and Nico Collins and that bunch.
And they're young. They're fast. That's going to be different. It's going to be different for Cleveland, and they play inside, so it's going to be the game will be fast to the players, but we're going to see a mess, man. We're going to see just.
Yeah, I don't know if Will Anderson's going to play for Houston, but Denzel Ward might not play for Cleveland. It's going to be a pretty good shakeout. I like this young guy that they rested last week, this Jerome Ford, this very fast running back for the Browns. I think the Browns are going to get it done again. 27-22. Browns win on the last drive. This will be a good game. It comes on 4:30 Eastern tomorrow afternoon. I can't wait, man.
So we got flip scores pretty much.
Yeah, 27-22 Browns win on the road. You're saying 27-22 the home team. Houston
27-24 the home. Texas.
Okay, that's your favorite score. You love that score.
I mean,
What's your Alabama Georgia score that I play all the time that you nailed?
I like those numbers because you're more likely to get a odd number in there than you are to keep it even. So
okay, listen, man. Tomorrow night on Peacock, which I'll probably order. I don't care. Pickles. I'll probably watch it. Not less. This is the healthiest Kansas City's been all year. I was reading that Donovan Smith is back. What's your friend's name here? Isaiah Pacheco. They gave him the week off also last week. My man's going to be running through that defense like a hot knife through butter. The temperature is going to be 0 to -5 degrees up in Kansas City tomorrow.
Yo, Robert, I heard that Taylor Swift's going to let Kelsey play some football this weekend.
Man, she's going to be up there. She's going to have like these real expensive gloves on and one of those high-end scarves. You know, even though they can close the little window thing, when they open it up, that cold air is going to come through.
She letting him eat barbecue this week, so he's going to be okay.
Man, right? But I tell you what, though, Miami's relatively healthy. They might have Mostert back, but Xavier Howard's not going to play in this game. Remember Miami? They beat Miami. We both picked Miami last time when they played in Europe. Mm-hmm. They beat Miami 21-14 in Europe. I still think they win this game. I'm saying 24-17. Dolphins get a late garbage touchdown, but I think KC's got control of this game early on. KC wins and moves on. What do you think about KC and Miami in this Ice Bowl, man?
I think the only winner in this game is Mother Nature, yo. She's coming out swinging.
Man, this game gonna be crazy cold, dude.
Whoa,
it's gonna be like the Patriots and the Titans 20 years ago.
And I'm like, to me, it just makes more sense to flex this game to like next Tuesday, bro.
Man, they ain't gonna do that.
Give both teams an opportunity. They don't have to wear like scuba gear and
this is gonna be like a Green Bay game.
Oh my God.
People gonna be like just looking like the Michelin Man, just layers after layers after layers.
Yo, who's gonna be turning purple in this game? You remember?
Man,
you remember Collins, the coach Collins.
Oh yeah,
he was all turning like freezer burn and like
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pickles thinks Miami's gonna win. I think Kansas City. They gave Isaiah Pacheco a week off. Kansas City's very healthy in this game. Miami will probably come up there and play well. When you say Miami's never going to play well, that's usually when they play well. But I still like KC, man. I still like Chris Jones in the middle.
I think this game's going to be like 17-10, bro.
Who?
I think Miami's going to win this.
All right.
Like,
I'm not going to talk you out of it. You said Miami.
No. You know why I say that is because you got more guys with experience on Miami on the offense than you do. Yeah. And so what you do in these games like that, you got to protect the ball. You can't have mistakes. So if Miami loses this game, it's because Tua gave up an interception or fumbled the ball. Like, that's the only way for them for the Chiefs to win this game, because both teams are going to try to play it high and tight. And we all know, and we all seen the Chiefs are inconsistent at wide receiver, catching the ball and running the ball, right? So, and I know this is a new season, this is playoff football, but you just don't turn a switch like that in a weather game, right? In a game
I think Tyreek Hill be in his element because he's played so many years at KC.
Yeah,
when it's been cold like this.
So
he may, and Devon Achane can score, but I tell you, I like KC here, man. I think they're going to be good.
No, I just think it's going to be the weather is going to be bad for everybody.
Yeah,
being cold is not discriminate. So like they both going to be cold. Like you're just going to have to go out there and play football. But it's hard to play football the way you want to play football.
Yeah,
right. So. This is one of those. You seen that game that one time that the Jets played that was like 12-7 against the Patriots. They're
hard to watch. Belichick is great for games like this, though.
Oh Lord, I don't know. I don't know.
But you're picking Miami to get the upset.
Yeah, and I don't know how you're gonna get a good football game out of a terrible weather.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, that's not even the worst weather game. It's this Pittsburgh Buffalo game. John, if you're watching, man, I don't know. They're looking for volunteers to shovel out snow. $20 an hour. It's supposed to be a lake effect, 1 foot of snow on Saturday, but Sunday the game's going to be about 20 degrees. But the wind's going to be 25 miles an hour up there.
Y'all should leave the snow in the stadium because he ain't going to go that far in the playoffs. So.
Man. Well,
they might win one game, but I don't think they'll win 2 games. You think they'll win 2 games?
Yeah. Well, Gabe Davis is not going to play in this game, and I was disappointed in Buffalo last week, man. Like I said, you've got to get James Cook the ball in the flat. Stop playing hero ball, John. And I tell you what, they lose this game. Sean McDermott, you got to add him to the list, man. Go out and get somebody to fix that running game more of a consistent basis,
Yeah, Robert, I mentioned it last week or the week before. Whenever James Cook had his 100-yard plus rushing game. Remember, I told you who got the game ball.
You said Josh Allen, but I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, and then on top of that, like
he's making stuff up, I think.
Nah, man. So he got the game. So I told you this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Cooks can go like 50, 60 yards a game if they give him the ball. They're not even giving him the ball more than
I think he will get at the ball a lot in the flat, and I think Allen's gonna run. This game, they're gonna have missed extra points, field goals missed. This feels like an 18-9 Bills win this game 18-9. Josh Allen, you gotta beat what's that guy's name? Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, finally runs into a rough patch here, and the Bills win, man, and move on 18-9. Kind of a weird score.
Look,
that's the Yankees back in the day in the summertime.
If you got to run the ball, Pittsburgh got 2 running backs.
They got Harris and Warren.
Here's the thing.
Now, TJ Watt won't play this game, by the way.
As long as they keep running the ball down the depleted Buffalo Bills team, they're gonna win this game. This game
Who's gonna win this game? Bills or Pitt Steelers?
No, I feel like this is gonna be upset city.
You think Steelers gonna win too?
Yeah, I don't like Buffalo. I can't trust them for nothing. I can't.
Wow, you got that much faith in Mason Rudolph?
It's not. He don't have to do anything. He just got to give the ball to Najee Harris and Warren.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Gotta do nothing. Look, Rudolph, don't throw the ball. You don't got to throw.
Red-nosed reindeer, baby.
But if anybody can throw the ball in this weather, it's Allen and Rudolph. You got to understand.
Yeah.
Rudolph,
if Allen gets pass happy, I could see Pittsburgh winning this game. Just like Cincinnati went up there and beat them last year.
I was about to say something like that. I was like, did some little old Tigers go over there, Bengals?
They just gave the ball to Mixon a lot. So that's a good point. I still think Allen will probably run some. This won't be a fun game.
No, it's not.
This will be a crappy game, man.
Yeah, this is going to be like 17-6.
So you're 17-6 Steelers. I say 18-9 Buffalo. Now, this game will be high scoring. Green Bay will play at Dallas. I was reading this guy, Todd Archer, that covers the Cowboys. He said, listen, this is the healthiest Cowboys been in a long time. The whole offensive line is back. Stephen Gilmore, he's back. Green Bay, they probably won't have they have some questionable players. A.J. Dillon's not going to play. Christian Watson's questionable, but he's been questionable all year. And this Joe Barry, this defensive coordinator for Green Bay, he's been in trouble all year. Man, I think Dallas rolls in this game, 34-20. I think Dallas rolls at home, and they move on to the next round. What do you think about Green Bay and Dallas, man?
Yeah, man.
This is a throwback, right?
Yeah, even Mike McCarthy looking nice and sweltering in that new.
Yeah, McCarthy coaching against the old team.
He got a little bit. He lose a little bit of weight over there. He got a.
Man, he probably lost about 5 pounds this week.
He looked like he's doing all right himself. So this is the healthiest Dallas has been in a few years.
Well, especially their line. That Tyler Smith's been banged up all year.
Yeah, but this is Dallas. They're averaging about 34 points a game, anyways.
They are.
I spot them to 30, and I don't think that Love can find his passion for the offense, and is maybe 21 points. Maybe. I think it's going to be like 30-21.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dallas plays really well.
And the 21 I'm giving, and I'm being nice.
Well, Watson, see, they're playing on house money, so I think they could play free. They could score 21-24. You just never know, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm giving them a few points because they're young and they don't care.
Yeah.
That offense is just gonna try to do what they can to scratch. They in a bar fight, man. They're gonna try to scratch you up a little bit. So
they're gonna try to scratch you up, and
yeah. So, but ain't you can only go at Goliath so much before he step on your face. So
yeah, Dallas. This is the most comfortable I've ever seen Dak, man.
Yeah, I like.
He's playing loose. He's been playing loose all year, man.
I like his confidence. I like that he's moving.
Yeah, this is the most confident he's ever been.
He's been moving the ball forward when he runs. Him
and CD have never have this kind of connection again.
No, like he got zip on the ball. He's throwing it hard and fast. I like that.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that game. That's gonna be fun. This is the best game of the week, I think. This next game, brother. Sunday night, Rams at the Lions. Dude, the Rams have been quietly balling out. They've won 6 or 7. They should have beat Baltimore, man.
The Denver's got beat by the Giants, bro. What are you talking about?
They should have beat Baltimore. The Lions, Sam Laporta got banged up last week. I don't think he's going to play this game. He's questionable, but he ain't really practiced all week. And Khalif Raymond, they're saying he's already out for Detroit. Man, I like the Detroit story. I like my man Jeremy. But the truth of the matter is, Kerwin Williams was also rested last week. That's that running back, second-year player at Notre Dame for the Rams. And Puka Nacua, man, I think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. Puka everywhere.
I've been saying this for a while, too. I'm not a big fan of Jared Goff. I think he's just a serviceable quarterback. I think this game he's going to show out that he's just a serviceable quarterback. He's going to probably throw a few picks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
He's going to lose the opportunity again, that extension. People are just going to make sure he's just making sure that he's going to stay a backup quarterback for the rest of his career because you can't play like he's played in the last 4 games. And you had the opportunity of winning that game the other day, a couple of weeks ago by just zipping the ball out to your tight end
I don't know what Campbell was thinking in that. You talking about the Dallas game?
Yeah, and I'm like,
Detroit, man,
you could have won this game, bro, and you just with the and who
are you picking to win this game?
I feel like the Rams' defense is gonna be able to handle Detroit's offense, and they'll be able to score enough points. And this game, Detroit's gonna stay home, bro. You're gonna go fishing.
What's your score there? What's your score?
I think this one's gonna be close to. I think maybe 28 to. I want to say 24, but
Rams
28-21. The Rams, Rams.
Yeah, I say 34-28. Rams get the upset on the road.
That much offense. Well, here's the thing:
both of them have bad secondaries.
That secondary is terrible. Both
of them. This is going to be. This is a game like if you want to go with FanDuel. Like you just want to load up on the anytime touchdown.
You see, but here's the thing: as much as that secondary is terrible, that defensive line is nice, right?
Well, both of them have some play. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson, if Nobu don't play, which he's questionable, that hits the left tackle for the Rams. I could see the Rams, Detroit making a big play with Hutchinson and maybe hurting Stafford there. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could. And that could go towards Detroit, but man, you do player versus you put strength versus strength.
Yeah.
I still like Stafford and McVay better than Campbell and Goff, don't you?
Yeah, but here's the thing, and this is what we have to understand too, is that you're going with a Rams team that still has few players from the Super Bowl run that they had.
Yeah, that's true.
And Detroit
Donald and Everett Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, and Detroit doesn't. So
right.
Detroit is young though. So
yeah, it's in Detroit. So I mean, if Detroit wins, they're favored by 3.
Yeah, I don't see it happening. And,
I think the Rams are going to pull it off, man. As much as I like Detroit, I got to be honest about this pick, man.
Yeah, and it just seems like the Rams are a little bit deeper than Detroit as far as not just experience, but as far as the way they play out. The quarterback thing is like I mean, that right
Stafford's
there.
much more poised.
Yeah,
In the big moment. Plus, he's coming back home. He's played here for 10 years.
That's another thing. He knows how the lights shine in his eye in every corner of the
Yeah,
field.
even Chad thinks it's going to be a close game. All right, Monday night, man. I was back and forth on this game. Philadelphia at Tampa. A.J. Brown might not play in this game, but everybody else is back for Philly. Jalen Hurts going to play. Darius Slay's been out for a minute. He's going to be back. Devontae Smith, your guy, what's his name? Swift. DeAndre Swift. Baker Mayfield's kind of hobbling. He's going to play, but he's hobbling from Tampa. I still think Philly will win 2017. This will be a tight game, though.
Yeah.
They win on the road. What do you think, Tampa, Philly, man?
Yeah, I like Tampa Bay's.
You like Tampa to win?
No. I like Baker Mayfield that he played his heart out to try to get a contract, which he's deserved, you know? Yeah. I like the defense that they're going to put out there because it's, but I don't know if Tampa has enough and because you're talking about a team that just came back from the Super Bowl and now they know it's a new season with the playoffs. So you could see a totally different Philly team. Or
if they still had those injuries, I think Tampa would win, but a lot of those players are coming back though, Yeah,
no, and then the running game's okay. It's but if Philly plays the same way they've been playing for the last 6 games, they're not going to beat Tampa. I mean, Tampa didn't play that well against Carolina, but still, I think we forget.
Are you're still picking Philly to win though?
Yeah, but we forget that these kids, man, they want an opportunity. They like the light. They want to be shining stars, and we're gonna see a good game. This is gonna be a good game.
It's gonna come down to Hurts versus Mayfield, and Hurts is a big game guy, man.
He's a big game guy, and
they fold like a cheap suit probably.
For the NFC East representation, I want to see Philly come out like a big NFC East team, like play hard.
Yeah,
go out.
I think it'll be a tight game. I got a 2017 Eagles.
2017?
Yeah, I don't think they can run off with it, man. Because I know you could still. I still think Evans will have a pretty good game. See, Pickles thinks maybe the Bucs win 24.
Ooh.
24-20. Pickles says, this is Jamie's going to say, let me play Jamie's.
Don't do that.
This is not what I wanted. Not what I wanted. You remember that?
Lord.
Let's see if we can hear from Jamie real quick here. Trying to see if it'll come up here. I don't know. Maybe not. Jamie after the game, folks. Jamie Pags. Now this thing is trying to say that. Let's see if this will come up right here.
You think the same thing?
Not the ending I wanted. Not the ending I wanted. This is a tough one. Tough one to swallow.
That might be Jamie on Monday about midnight.
And a quick tidbit to the NBA, I keep telling you about this guy. I like him. I like how he plays, but Philadelphia just needs to get rid of him. He got hurt again. Who's that?
Again. Embiid?
Embiid, yeah.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So I told you, man.
All right. You got anything to plug, man?
Well, I'm on Friday mornings. I'm on with Keith. He's gonna go on a little hiatus next week. So
yeah, he's still bummed out about New England, huh? Going on a cruise or something?
No, he got some. I think he's gonna try to do some work, maybe. I don't know. But new year, new plans, right? This Friday we're not gonna do the show, but he might have a special from a repeat that he's gonna pull out. And then, on Wednesday nights at
NFC East show,
we do the NFC East roundup show. We're doing the playoff special. We talk sports there, with the crew. And then, Friday nights I'm with you.
Yeah, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central.
Yeah, so
we break down the biggest games. Not the ending I wanted.
No, let me see. I'm.
I want to see New England or Philly lose, but I got to be honest. I don't think that.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like that game and the Buffalo Bill game are the two. You want teams to win, but probably you don't know what's gonna happen because So, which is,
I think we'll get some good games. I think the Green Bay game will be good. Don't you think that Lions game will probably be the best game? Lions and Rams.
Yeah, I just want to see Jared Goff losing.
I ain't got it against him like that, but I mean, I like Dan Campbell.
It's not that I got
it right now.
It's not that I got it against him. It's that, like, you just gave him so much money, bro.
Yeah.
And now you want to re-up his contract? Come on. What have you done for me
he got to
lately,
take a pay cut. We got to pay him $8 million next year.
What's going on, bro? What's going on?
Yeah. But anyways, have a good night, man. We'll see you next week. We'll be breaking this thing down. We'll see how
happy Martin Luther King Day. People enjoy
Martin Luther King. There's also some good NBA games on Monday.
Yes, let's celebrate the King. Love, peace, and joy.
Amen. Amen. Appreciate it. See you next week, brother.
I'll be there.
Thanks, guys.